process of taking basil from seedlings to pesto in the kitchen. Just the seasonal process of doing that to pass on to my family and friends. Basil is a wonderful herb, Italian herb that has this great flavor, and it's really great to use as a condiment in a lot of things. So what you do to grow it is you buy the seedlings and you plant them in the ground when you know you're not going to get a frost again, and that's different depending on where you live. So I planted mine in early May and knew I wasn't going to have to worry about frost. I planted 3 seedlings, and that was a plant about this big with a nice root base that I bought from a home store. You can get them for about $1.50 each, and then have pesto year-round, which is kind of expensive to buy in the grocery stores. And then you get a really nice living condiment that's wonderful flavor. So anyway, I bought 3 plants and I put them in the ground, like I said, in early May, about 1.5 feet or 2 feet apart. Dug deep and planted then with good soil and mulch around it. And as you can see, I live in suburbia, so my herb garden is a part of my landscaping, and it's kind of been just a fun family project for me, and something that's easy to do. It doesn't take a lot of space, and herbs are fun to grow and don't take a lot of maintenance either. So anyway, then they grew and they ended up about 4 feet tall and about 2 or 3 feet in diameter. These have been harvested, so that's why they're so spindly. But I actually came out in August, it's now October, I came out in August and clipped the branches off of them already once, and I'll show you that process. You just, these don't have a lot left, but you would just take your clippers and cut branches off, and then get them, like I said, this is what's remaining after I've done this once, and you would then have a whole bunch. I had several armloads or wheelbarrows full of these branches that have the seeds on them, the leaves, and then the stem. I left, in August, I left the plants with plenty of branches left on them to regrow. Because I like to try to harvest the branches twice in the summer. So I come out in late August and then again in October before we're going to get frosts and kill my plants, and then have enough to harvest again. So this was my second time around with these plants, so I've actually got a lot off of them. So now I just will show you the... Okay, this is my washing area. It's a little makeshift, but it does the job well. And I have just my bench on my decking here, and I use the large size plant bottom base as part of my washing process. So I have a shower nozzle on my hose that my husband did for me. And what you do in the process is just lay your branches. I lay them on my decking first, like this, and then I turn my water on. And mind you, you'd have a whole lot more than this. And I did, and then I just showered them off real well. It's just kind of a first washing, and moving them all around to get the initial dirt layer off of them, and they just drain right through the deck here. And then I moved them into this little wash basin where I can actually use my hands a little better and get on the leaves, removing any bugs and extra dirt that's dried on there. And I let them soak in this water. And I'll usually have 3 or 4 of these lined up full of plants. And I will try and wash them like this 2 or 3 times. You see, just move them in your hands and then dump the water right off. That's why I like to come right here and do it. And then repeat the process 2 or 3 times to make sure your leaves are nice and clean. And I do that triple wash process, so here. And then I lay them on the deck to just dry for a little while and drip dry a little bit. So then I can go where I can pull the leaves and seeds off. And I'll show you that process. So I just let them dry first usually. And then I come here, and as you can see, I have already pulled, this is one plant, or half a plant. I actually pulled the leaves and separated the seed area off of the stem by just pulling the leaves and leaving the stems behind, and then pulling off the seed pod here at the top, and it's sometimes a little harder. I might even take a clipper, and then putting the seed pods here to dry and replant, or use in cooking as well. So that's the process of just, and the most time consuming really, but it is so worth it. It's fun. You can get the whole family out and do this, or just have your favorite music and your favorite friends with you, and so good company and good music can help it along. That's basically the process before you go into the kitchen. Okay, we're in the kitchen now with our ingredients to make the pesto. I have, of course, my basil leaves, seeds that I'll dry and do things with those later. And then what I use is, I like to use my food processor. You can use a blender. It's a little harder to get the pesto out of a blender. This is a 5-cup food processor that I really like to use. And basically I just put my basil leaves in the bottom. And for my ingredients I use, this is 2 cloves of garlic that have been crushed, and that would go in there. And I use about 1/2 cup of fresh grated Parmesan cheese. And then I like to use any kind of nuts, really work your favorite. I like pine nuts, walnuts, but this season I really got a good deal on southern pecans, and so I'm going to use southern pecans in there. I also use sea salt, and so I'll use about a teaspoon in my food processor when I fill it up. A teaspoon of sea salt. And then last but not least, your extra virgin olive oil. I use my extra virgin olive oil. And here I put about 1/4 cup to the amount of basil that is in there. Need to cut my lemon, squeeze it. I use the juice of 1 whole fresh lemon. I'd say fresh is best, and if you want to use jarred lemon juice, that's okay too. Squeezing this in there, and then we'll just close it up and let the food processor do the rest. Sometimes you need to add a little bit of water to this to get it moving real well. We'll see where it goes from here. I have to edit that out, don't I? You can see it's already blending really pretty. It's got so much flavor from everything that's in there. This can serve as a condiment in place of some higher fat things that you might be used to, or your dressings and mayos that might not be the best choice. And that's it. That is how we make our pesto. As you can see, it's beautiful, green, and let's take that blade out. And I like to freeze it up in small containers because it doesn't take a lot. It's really beautiful and really delicious.